I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. My name is Thibaut Touch, and I'm joined by incredible two brothers. We'll have a sister and callers. Fantastic. So today you get to call us in 011-883-3343. I will introduce my guests that are joining me in studio. But first, I'm not going to be silent with the escalation of violence against women and looking at these campaigns on femicide when we talk about why our brothers are so violent. And I would like to dismiss the idea that men are inherently violent. But let me open up my conversation by saying, according to Cambridge Dictionary, a crime of passion is a crime committed because of very strong emotional feelings, especially in connection with a sexual relationship. Now, according to the legal dictionary, a crime of passion is a criminal act that a person commits out of heartbreak or anger. Now, in the past few weeks in South Africa, over 21 women have been killed. Recently, 2 men have died in the hands of the woman they love. Now, we are going to talk about the issue when it relates, as it relates to sexuality, spirituality, because earlier on I had a conversation with my guest, Bishop Maponga, to say there is a connection with all these violence that we witness. Somehow, the root and the epicenter of that level of agony or frustration has to stem out of a sexual relationship. But we're also going to talk about the exchange of spirits. When you sleep with another person, what are you exchanging beyond just the physical encounter? What is it that you are taking? And Bishop said something interesting. He says, touch is not the woman, it's not about how many women you've slept with. It's how many women have slept with you. What did they take from you? Woo! And you got my feet cold right there. Thank God I can count. Now, welcome to the new normal. I have Bishop Marara Joshua Maponga joining me on a Tuesday evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show one more time, and greetings to all the listeners out there. We are going to remember the first time I came here,
Yes.
And I was saying the estate of the mind, which talks to the quality of the seeds that are in our heads.
That's correct.
The estate that is between our legs, speaking to our reproduction issues. And many people maybe started cringing under their skins and etc. And the estate of the ground, which is the land. And I'm so happy today we're in the middle estate, right where it is happening, where the next generations are being manufactured. And if the black book is true, that our bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit, and God lives in us, or Jesus lives in us, whatever it is that lives in us,
Yes, sir.
then when whoever goes in us, they must meet that God,
Yes, sir.
that spirit, that whatever that lives in us. For
Yes.
there's no human being who is an empty shell.
Mm-hmm.
We are all occupied.
That's when you say there's no empty shell, that says a lot because we are walking entities. What are we occupying? Let's face the truth. Our stats keep rising. We argue what could cause this type of brutal murder or kill when somebody loves someone so much. How can someone who is so loving take a life of their partner? We do our investigations associated with emotions, but we never get to deal with the core reason as to why we express ourselves violently. Then there was a different perspective that I'd like to employ from you regarding our doctor, Dineo, who brought an interesting perspective to the situation, which we'll talk about later. Are men inherently violent?
All men, if they are normal,
Yes.
they come out between our women's legs. They breastfeed on our women's breasts. All of them. All of us, let me say so.
Yes.
So maybe the question is not, are they normal? The question is, when they were on your lap, when you were making them, and when you were bringing them up, what sort of information did you give them? What sort of worldview did you introduce them? What stereotypes did you print into their consciences?
Yeah.
What sort of world did you prepare them to meet when they grow up?
Right.
So basically, men are a manifestation of an education system, of the quality of the software that has been planted into their minds. So on the onset, before we can even start arguing about normal men, let's argue about normal women. Let's argue about normal husbands. Let's argue about normal homes.
Right.
Because there's no child who fell from the sky. They are all coming from home. So we need to look at the social issues, the religious issues, the political issues, the economic issues,
Yes, sir.
which create the quality of the men that we're dealing with in our modern day, and the frustration and the depressions, plus also their own psychological and social demons that they are facing on a day-to-day basis, and how they are relating and responding
Right.
to some of those challenges.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me also remind you the number to dial is 011-883-3343. I'd like you to call me now. Engage both Bishop Noel Jones and Bishop Maponga. And we did talk about the fact that today we're not going to sugarcoat around violence. And when you look at crime of passion, I wake up every morning and I read stats, and stats I keep going high. The lockdown produced a lot of divorces. Now we read every day somebody's being murdered. Some lady, some wife, some girlfriend. And I earlier on spoke to you about 1 Corinthians 6:16. Do you not know that he who is joined to a prostitute becomes one body with her? For it is written, the two become one flesh. Now, that joint venture, what we don't understand, we look at it as lust, but sex is a joint venture. And if the two becomes one, and I sleep with a prostitute, let's talk about that contamination.
The human being is not just one species on the
Yes.
physical line.
Yes.
So that we can look at infatuation and attraction
Yes.
towards the feminine or masculine species
Sure.
as just fulfilling the physical lust, because the person meets your requirements on your tick box, 6 by 9 by 3 by what. You look at their legs, you look at their faces, their hairstyle, and they meet your requirements.
Yes, sir.
But behind the physical person, there is a mental, there's an intellectual person behind that person.
Yes.
And behind the intellectual person, there's a spiritual person behind that person. And as I said earlier on, if we should use the text that says your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit,
Right.
therefore this person is occupied. Is occupied by a variety of factors that are without the human eye.
Yes.
And your interaction with them. Then Corinthians echoes back and say, when you go into her, you become one with her.
Right.
You become one with her. In
Right.
other words, what you are, she becomes, and what she is, you become.
Correct.
Therefore, when you talk about sexual union, it must be understood that the union is happening at various levels, the visible and the invisible. The question is, what sort of energies, what sort of spirituality, what sort of evocations are happening within that activity that are moving? What sort of juices are you exchanging between one another?
Is that the reason why men get wrestle with themselves? Does it lead to a point of self-frustration?
I love something about sex. It was meant to be the glue in a relationship.
Okay.
Originally, it is designed that when you sleep with someone, you join with them. You get attached with them.
Yes.
You get united with them.
Right.
You are binding yourself to them. I love the Jewish weddings where you literally walk around your partner 7 times, binding yourself to her. So it was meant to hold us together. So immediately when you discover that what was meant to hold you together has actually become a tourist attraction, where you are here today, you are there tomorrow, you are there tomorrow, it leaves a certain amount of emptiness wherever you have been, because the person's arms are still open waiting for you, and you have walked away. So sex, I love it, the way it was designed. It was meant to bind.
Bishop.
That's what must hold relationships together.
Well stated. Let's go to Los Angeles. Bishop Noel. Good evening, sir. We'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, but I'm listening to, I guess I'm listening to young men. I'm the old man in I'm the nursing home ministry. So, so let me point out a couple of things.
Yes.
You see, first of all, you got to deal with the issue of sexuality and connecting physically. One of the problems is that sometimes sex spoils and destroys good relationships. Because connecting physically is quite easy. Because you can have good sex with somebody you don't even love. So connecting physically is easy. The issue is when you're being one with someone, are you one with them spiritually? Are you one with them intellectually, creatively, cognitively, because physically joining. Now, then you got to understand the difference between men and women
Yes, sir.
in a sexual encounter. And this is why sometimes, and I'll say this, and it's going to be hard to swallow. Sometimes when a man is lying to the woman he's with, he still wants to be with her. I gotta let that soak. I
Okay.
can't just go on with that.
When a man is
Because
lying,
he still want to be with her. You hate for him to lie, but do you want the blow by blow? Do you want the details? And it's the difference between man and woman. A man can go out and go shopping. He's going down the street shopping.
Right.
To get him a piece of clothes. Run into an old girlfriend and stay away for 2 days. Never thinking it, never processing it, never had it in his mind. He just got caught away. You said passion, right? He just got caught away in a moment without thinking. Now, the average woman who is trained right, if she's been raised properly, when she gives herself to somebody, she thought about it for 2 weeks.
The opposite.
It wasn't sudden. It wasn't spontaneous. It was something that she thought about and she decided to do. If he comes at me one more time, I'm going to give him some of this. Men and women are totally different when it comes to sexuality because we raise our girls, but we just love our sons. We don't teach our boys abstinence. When, let me give an example of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my own life now, my kids.
yes, sir.
I covered my daughter with a blanket. I would go to the school. I would check the guys out. Guys got their pants half off, you know, sagging. And I'd say, who is that guy? Who is that guy? My daughter was so covered, she was known as the Reverend Jones's daughter. She had no name.
Okay.
So you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the Reverend Jones's daughter, right? And I would pick her up, make sure, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? My son asked me, at 25, he asked me to counsel him in marriage. Well, you can't, I said, I messed up with your mother. I divorced your mother. Why are you asking me? He said, I want you to do it. My wife wants you, my wife to be, we want you to do it. And it dawned on me that in 25 years, I had never asked that boy, was he sexually active? I covered my daughter like a blanket and had no discussion with my son. So you understand now when you talk about joining and passion and crime, and it's a man, let me tell you something about a man. A man will leave his girlfriend and come home to his wife and kill her over what he just finished doing.
I need you, Bishop, to elaborate on that, and just for us to understand it. So,
No, let me take it deeper. Let me take it deeper.
yeah,
Women have been trained to be chaste. A man can brag about how many women he has been with. For instance, at 70 years old, if I walked in this room right now with a 25-year-old beautiful woman, nobody, they'd say, Bishop, you're a bad man. You some kind of cool.
yeah,
They would pat me on the back all day.
Yeah.
I could sit with my buddies and talk about all the women I've been around and all the women I've been with. I can do that. Oh, Bishop, you some kind of man.
Right.
You let a 70-year-old woman walk in here with a 25-year-old
We'll kill it.
young man and see how she's criticized. We can brag about how many women we've been with, but a woman can't tell her best friend how many men she been with, or she'll be called all kind of names.
hello,
So understand this now.
right,
A man can brag, get pat on the back for what he does. A woman can't do what he does unless you start calling her names. Period. She can't tell her best friend. So now he feels as if he's got a right to have multiple women, but he is shocked. I mean, when he shoots his wife, it ain't out of being just evil. The man is shocked. He pulled the trigger out of shock. What? What? Because he does not expect her to do anything other than be faithful to him. And that's the real truth. He can get up out of the bed. I have seen it. I have counseled it. I have witnessed it. I have had to deal with it as a pastor, where a Negro got right up out of the bed and went home and beat his wife up for something he just finished doing on speculation of what she was doing.
Do we give justification to such behavior by saying it's a man's world, or men are just...
No, we have trained it like that. What has happened is, you understand, women have been under the thumb and the suffrage. Women have suffered behind men. They're still not equal. They still don't get equality. They don't get equal pay. They don't get equal respect. They don't get equal attitudes. They don't get anything. And the problem is that most of us want a woman we can control.
Now, let's get friends involved. I see Harry Treeman is here as well. Bino Tladi, give me a call, 011-883-3343. You have Bishop Maponga, who you know is uncut. He's not afraid. So, this is your opportunity, because ladies, you always have these girls talk. Because you don't talk to your man about it, maybe he might raise a hand, or maybe he's got a weakness. He doesn't want to hear it. So talk to the man I look up to. This is Touch Tuesday night. Bishop Noel Jones in the building. Bishop Maponga is here. 011-883-3343. We would like to hear from you. Bishop.
Let's extend it further. And Elder Noel, allow me to speak like an African, as I am, not like an African. Allow me to speak on the ground.
Are you going to speak as a Christian or a Muslim? Which one?
I'll just be a rural man from the bushes of Africa.
Before we do that, can I allow one of our callers to hear their side? Is that okay? All right, we are live. This is the new normal. Good evening. Hi.
Yes, I'm from Pretoria.
And we're having the conversation. Actually, Pretoria, there was a sad story yesterday where a girl murdered her boyfriend and hid him under the bed.
Mawad.
I would like to hear your experience on the issue on not just femicide, when the women is also violent towards men. Share your experience.
Normally, I don't think I'll have much to say, because normally it is men who are doing that. But I understand that ex-women or many women are also doing that. But normally when you see a woman doing something like that, it is because of many things that have been happening. And she was unable to tell her own story, or she was unable to tell the man or the husband or the partner that this thing that you are doing to me, I'm not happy about. Or sometimes you find out that the lady was telling the man, but the man, because of his masculinity, he could not understand what the woman is saying. And because we are living in the days where men are oppressive and everything is for them, and a woman cannot say anything.
Okay.
And because of anger, because of frustration, because of everything that she has been bottling inside, and sometimes she cannot even tell people that she's going through that, because our society is so full of, they mock you, they make mockery of your situation.
Understood.
And that
Understood.
will be the end.
I get that. But you are a victim yourself of crime of passion or of violent relationship. And how did you handle it?
It took me time to be the person that I am, because I've been oppressed for almost 28 years. And it came to a point whereby I understood who I am. I remembered my identity. And that is when it dawned to me that I could not stand this rubbish that I was under.
Powerful.
And yes. So I had to stand up, and I started by speaking, because they say speaking is healing. So I told neighbors, I told everyone that this man is doing this and that, and we have been married forever. So this is how I came out of the situation. And I even ended writing a book about my life. In 2017, I published the book, and that is when my husband, who was a monster, stopped everything until today.
Ow. See how you turned such a negative situation positively and wrote the book? That's Mama Advisor all the way in Pretoria.
My take is rather interesting on that same subject, Tables.
Yes.
We have for you to have these crimes of passion, we have empty lives. People who are looking for validation from other people. And they, as it were, give everything that they have to be defined by their relationship. For one reason or the other, they have no purpose. They have no mission. They have no vision. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know where they're going.
Sure.
They just want to fit into this acceptable picture of a community, either as a married wife or as a married man, because you can gain the respect that you need from the community. But deep down, there is an emptiness that they want a relationship to fulfill.
Right.
Or already, if a person goes in a relationship with someone because they're in need of something, you can already see that as a first red flag.
Okay.
Because immediately what they are looking for in a relationship seems to be tampered with. In the event that Pastor Jones is talking,
yes,
we're even suspecting that another man is now playing in your pool. Now, what does that mean? Someone has taken away my wife. What does that mean? I'm going to lose the dignity. I'm going to lose the respect with the brothers.
Right.
No, I'm going to lose. So you already begin to have sins and crimes of passion. I think at the basis of it are driven by empty lives seeking for meaning from others. And then they want to protect that dignity, protect that image through the other. And at the end of the day, if you do anything that tampers with my definition of myself,
okay,
then I feel I have a right because I've invested me into you. You have a right. You must protect me from being undermined. And when I feel you are tampering with the me part of it, then the whole issue of force to force you to become what I want you to be, even to exterminate life, because at least you expose who I am to the rest of the world.
Lord help us.
So it's actually a way of getting rid of this information. No one must know maybe that I'm impotent. No one must know that maybe I'm sexually poor. No one must know that maybe I have a low self-esteem. No one must know that I'm actually not making enough money. No, that's why sometimes it's expensive to let a friend go. Because the secrets they're going away with, hell no.
Bishop preached it one time. Bishop said it and he messed me up. I think he was preaching somewhere in Baltimore. He said, some people stay in a relationship not out of romance or out of love, because secrets cannot let them apart.
Too expensive.
You stay because of secrets. Tabo in Bloemfontein, all the way in Free State. Good evening.
Good evening, Tosh. How are you?
Blessed. Go straight to it.
Good. I like what you're talking about tonight. In a relationship, we are expecting a lot. We have a lot of expectations. That's why the relationships don't last. If you got what I'm saying, Tosh.
Right. Okay.
We have a lot of expectations. That is why relationships never last. That is why people think they own people. It's because we fail to have our own. We fail to come with something that we say it's our own. We don't have that fabricated thing that we can say it's our own thing. We came empty and then we expect people to do something. That is why we're seeing people killing people. We're seeing men killing women. We're seeing women killing men because we come empty. We're not coming with fulfillment. We don't come with something that we say we own it.
I love
even
it.
That is why, even if sometimes when things don't go right, we just go separately and we say, you know what? You are who you are because of me. You know, that is where the killing part's coming from.
Woo! Man, the root of all evil, entitlement and obsession. Bishop.
There are a couple of things that are critical here and very significant to this discussion. And one is, whenever there is a lack of character development,
Yes, sir.
you're going to operate out of emotion and passion. Because you're talking about passion here, and I'm talking about passion. Why is passion unleashed in a situation where there is character development to control passion? Because it's one's character that gives them the power to control how they feel. You got to deal with the issue of feeling as opposed to responsibility. And in many instances, our girls, now you go through South Africa and you check in our community, you will find that our girls excel and our girls are more educated and more studied than our boys. Our boys are leaning up on some corner while our girls, why? Because go get your brother something to eat, clean the bedroom, wash the dishes, cook, and all that. All that is discipline. And discipline builds character, whereas the boy is only responding to how he feels. So here's the problem we have. We got girls who are, when they commit to you, they're committed. So they're not going to move by any feeling. We look at some feminine pulchritudinous splendor, and all of a sudden we go left. And we don't even deal with women out of their intellectual capacity and their ability. We deal with them physically. And that's why most men are scared of having a woman who is equal to him in her creativity, her cognitive energy, her intellectuality, her ability. He's scared of her. He don't want to deal with her. He want to deal with somebody that don't have no sense but got a beautiful, wonderful body. And whenever because he lacks all of the spiritual aspects and the intellectual aspects, he beats on her because the only thing that's got him better than her is his physicality. He only, you just bigger than me physically, but you ain't smarter than me. You ain't got as much education as I got. You're not intellectual as I am. So that's why you beating up on me, because you want to bring me down to your level of physicality. But move the physicality and see how you respect the fact that she's got the brilliance you don't have.
Bishop, this is very important. With all the preparation women went through, you talked about principles, how they were taught to clean, look after, handle responsibilities. So my assertion, to qualify my assertion that women choose men in a relationship, and if that's the case, why would then somebody choose something less or something not on their level cognitively? Probably, I don't want to go to matters of spirituality, but if women are advanced and far smarter than men,
On a light moment.
why they go?
On a light moment.
Yes.
Men take chances. Women make choices. I'll qualify that.
Okay.
150
Say that again, Bishop. Say that again.
women make choices. Men take chances. In that woman
Would you agree? Would you agree that men do the picking and the choosing, women do the hiring and the firing?
correct, because a woman will be approached by 150 men.
Okay.
She looks
I'm
at this
with you,
one,
Bishop. I got you.
sizes him up from top to bottom, not my type. The other one comes up with white socks and etc., not my type. The other one comes up with the wrong hairstyle, not my type. Until this one rocks up and she measures him up and say, boom, this one can father my children, except for rape. Women actually choose their partners. So at a light moment, when I'm doing counseling,
Yes.
I always tell my women,
Bishop, I got you. I got you.
you got me now.
I got you.
When your man is
So
giving you
at
trouble,
the end of the day, Bishop, what you're saying to us is that a woman chooses her chastening.
yes. So it's one thing for women to always stand on the receiving end of being victims in a society. But in my sessions, I tell women, when your man is giving you trouble, it's not your man giving you trouble. You must walk up to that man and kiss him. That's your choice. That's giving you trouble.
To understand what you're saying from a Western American culture, it seems to me then that the problem is that the woman attracts the man with her physicality,
Come on now.
whereas the man attracts the woman with his money. So both are attracted to wrong things because passion, again now you're talking about passion. Passion means I need instant gratification. Whereas character is saying, I need to check this out.
Preacher man, don't get me worked up. The other night I was working on this
Go,
passage.
go,
The other night I was working on the
Maponga,
passage
go.
of Hezekiah and Isaiah, where Hezekiah was sick to a point of death. And then the prophet comes to him and says, put your house in order, for you will not live long. And a few moments later, Hezekiah turns to the wall and he cries and he prays, telling God his CV. I've been a good boy. I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Lord whispers to Isaiah, says, go back and tell him that I've extended your days, with another 15 years plus.
Yes.
And then Isaiah comes back and says, boom, you got an extension. Hezekiah says, I don't believe it. Looks up on the window and says, it can't be that quick. Please show me a sign. The sun goes back, the sun goes forward, the sun goes backward, sun goes forward. In Babylon, where they were doing research, the scientific microclimatological station of the day saw the mischief of the sun going forward and going backwards. Then the passage says they sent emissaries around the whole kingdoms looking for an answer. Why did the sun go backwards? They came to the house of Hezekiah and had a look at Hezekiah. Please, we saw some signs in the air. I'm going somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what happened. Then the black book says,
You're going somewhere, Bishop.
he took them to the gold.
Okay.
He took them to the silver.
Right.
He took them to the
Yep,
school
yep.
of the prophets.
Yes, sir.
He took them and showed them the treasures of Israel, including
Yes, sir.
all the armory that he had.
Okay.
Forgot to tell them
Preach, Bishop.
what the Lord had done for him.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah pops in again a few moments later and says, what have they seen in your house? Skip a few moments
Oh,
later
my God.
into the book of Daniel.
Yes.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon,
Yes.
comes to Israel to besiege the city.
Okay.
And he had a clear plan of what Hezekiah had shown them
Okay.
at a moment of his healing. Now hear the preacher. What you show them is what they are coming to get. So Babylon comes to pick up the gold because they knew where it was.
Yeah.
The silver.
Okay.
The schools of the prophets, Daniel, Shadrach, and Meshach, they are picked up from the schools of
Yes,
the prophets
sir.
because that
Big
which
ass
Hezekiah had projected,
All right.
that's what the enemy came to collect. So you walk around showing us you walk around with your cleavages up. We're coming for it.
Yes.
You show us your backside. We're coming for it. Whatever you are selling, that's what we're coming for.
Hello. Pedro, all the way in Cape Town. Pedro, talk to me, man.
Bishop.
Hey, Bretty, I think we need to say this, that our fathers has failed us. Because I
Yes, sir.
remember I was reading a book about how Shaka won his war. And it's funny how Shaka always consulted his mother, but now we as men are failing our mothers, are failing our sisters, and not really going to have a consultation with them and have a conversation with them and finding out how they feel.
That is so
It's
true.
just that us as men are really failing ourselves, and our fathers failed us, and it's up to us to teach the young people. I'm 25 years old, but I still teach the young people that, you know what, you need to respect a woman, because disrespecting a woman can lead you to doing things that you don't want to do.
No, when you mentioned King Shaka
And Nandi.
and his mom, Queen Nandi,
Mom, Queen Nandi, yeah.
he didn't just go to his mother for strategical advice as to how to best obliterate the enemy. It was King Shaka's aunt who was the most strategic person that inspired the warrior in Shaka. So you're right. Our fathers never taught us to
never
see
taught us.
and
They've
go
failed
to a
us.
woman, go to our mothers, go to our sisters as a well of wisdom to best approach the challenges we deal with in life. I like what you said, Pedro.
The painful part is that we called Africa Mother Africa, but we treat it as a Father Africa. And then we always analyze this person, this man God, man God, man God. Why can God be a woman?
You
Why
know,
does it have to be a man?
hey, why
do we
can't
always
God
have to
be a
preach
woman? Hey,
and
preach
praise?
it.
Why do we always have to preach and praise a man? Why
No,
can't we preach and praise a
let
woman?
me understand.
Your
Let
question
me-
is,
giving.
if
Africa
men are
gives
created in the
to
image
all
of
the
God,
world.
then in whose image are women created?
That's a question. And that's a fair question. Africa is a gift that keeps giving. It's a woman that keeps giving. A man doesn't give, but a woman gives. But yet we disrespect our woman each and every day.
Beautiful point. That's my man Pedro, all the way out in Cape Town. Thank you, Pedro. Let's hear what Bishop.
If you all go to Genesis, you will see that God created male and female in his image. That's all you got to do is go to Genesis and see that. But the problem we have is man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. Somebody raised the issue a while ago, I think I heard it,
Yes.
about the attitude and the disposition of not telling the children what is right. Years ago, Tavis Smiley did a book, How to Make Black America Better, and he asked me to put something in it, and I did a poem that I put in a book. All of the stars, all of the celebrities did this book. And I put a piece in this book, How to Make Black America Better. I want to go to this part that deals with this. This sexually permissive, doing the prohibitive, so uninhibitive, a heavenly rush to ecstasy of sexuality, but a hellish hush to the horror of responsibility. Abortion to eliminate this pain only leaves us insane, so we took care of the physical, lost the psychological. Pray tell me, what did we gain, please, other than another disease? So before we infect all our partners, let's change the children. I'll read the rest of it another time.
Man. Hey.
If we raise our boys right, we don't raise our boys right. Fathers, I know many fathers who taught their sons how to get their first piece. We raise our girls and we keep them circumspect. They got the discipline, we got the passion. The problem with the world is men want to run loose and keep a woman bound.
Woo. Are we prepared to deal with the liberation of the very same people we see as objects?
If women were allowed to do what we do, we would be less active.
From an African perspective, however, some women...
Help me, Bishop.
Yeah,
Keep
from
me
an African
sane, Bishop.
perspective, when men are running loose like that,
Yeah.
then there is a corner of indigenous medicines where some women will now take a short left to go and find some potions that will manage the roving eye.
Yeah.
And when the roving eye is managed, then it becomes obsession.
Okay.
Because now all that the man can look at is the woman who has given him the potion.
Yes.
And to such an extent that it becomes too sticky. And then the woman wants to jump out of the relationship. That also shoots out into passion killing.
Man. So what Bishop Maponga is saying, you find sisters who will go and consult some special healer and say, give me some special portion, some cloth or some
Zwana
oil.
mina ngedwa. Hear me only.
Yeah.
You know.
Ngifuna ukuthi abheke mina ngedwa.
Look at me only.
But this bheka mina ngedwa.
Yeah.
Expire.
Yeah.
You might contain this
It
animal.
might expire. It might
Yeah.
exaggerate that environment.
Yes. And these are true incidents that happen in relationship.
Very
Indoda iyadliswa.
Yeah, a man gets a potion, he becomes a zombie in the house.
Yeah, bawudlisa.
Yes, and the day that thing expires,
Hey, uzodla
they
yena.
take him out and they make him do the thing, and
Man.
he cleans up himself. And
Hey.
like Bartimaeus says, I once was blind.
Hey,
Now I can see.
Yes, sir.
Because relationships that are manipulated,
Yes.
when manipulation curtain is torn apart and reality walks in, that you made me buy this, you made me do this, you made me do this, you made me fight with my mother,
Right.
because it was under some manipulation. The day a person discovers the truth,
Yes,
the
Bishop.
first point of contact is anger.
Bishop, I don't know if you got it in Jamaica, boss, but I'm going to go back to your home.
Voodoo, yeah.
Yes, but Bishop, in South Africa, you can see somebody who can enhance or embellish the quality of your relationship. You can go to a store where you buy a lotion, put this lotion in his socks. Man, he's going to love you like, oh, you have no idea, no limits. The guy will become the master of he will come up with positions he's never even fathomed. Kama Sutra has nothing on you. Now, the problem with that is manipulation is in play, not genuine love. But these products expire. And when they expire, man goes back to his senses like the prodigal son and loses his mind. I know Haitians might come close to what I'm saying. Jamaicans, maybe you're too sanctified. But does that happen in the West Indies, Bishop?
There's a difference between manipulation and exploitation. In manipulation, you're looking for something. This is how people get captured with this health, wealth, and prosperity preaching, is because one of the things is they're looking for something. So you can manipulate somebody who's looking for something. The problem with relationships is when two people aren't sitting at the table as equals, where one person is looking for something from the other person that they don't have themselves. It is awful and it is painful when you expect me to make you happy when you can't make yourself happy.
Come on, preacher.
At the end of the day, we need to lead with the intellectual capacity, the spiritual strength that we have. And when we become one physically, spiritually, intellectually, then there is nobody beating anybody. Because I tell black men in America, I say, when you kill your brother, you're committing suicide. And when a man hurts his wife, he's hurting himself.
I think what Bishop just said is very strong. We said this before. When a black man kills his own, that's suicide.
That's suicide. That's suicide.
But when you kill a woman, my God, you are killing the reproductive system that made creation what it is.
You know, when you buy, I've seen this, and it has hurt me a couple of times.
Yes.
I buy some nice shoes and gifts for my brothers and cousins who are back in the farms, right in the bushes.
Okay.
And buy some shoes and I go and give them.
Yes.
And I know how much worth are these shoes.
Okay.
And I give a brother, and the first thing in the morning, the guy is in the kettle pen with those shoes. To him, it's just another pair of shoes.
Right.
It's me who bought the shoes. Hell no, I'm saying, how can you take a Crockett and Jones and take it to the deep tank?
Yes.
Why can't you use Manyatel or something?
Crockett and Jones has
Keep,
speed.
keep these things for. But value is only known by the one
Who gives it?
who has purchased it, who has given it.
Yes,
and
sir.
if we should allow our boys to get into relationships
All right.
without knowing the value
Okay.
of what they have in their hands.
Yes, sir.
My daughters, I got 4 of them.
Okay.
When I give you my princesses
Yes.
that I've brought up in my house,
Yes.
and I've taught them from scrubbing my feet, I've taught them from making food for me, I've done what I could possibly know, what I think the most difficult husband can expect from a woman. I've done my part.
Yes, sir.
Now you come around my girls with no clue of what you want.
Okay.
And you mess up that good pair of shoes
Hey.
for lack of
But
knowledge of the value which you have in your hands.
Whose responsibility is it to educate the person about value?
That's why I always say that when you are bringing up
Parents,
any child,
parents.
Yes.
just remember that
Mother and father.
the child you are bringing up in your space is not going to end up in your space. You are bringing up this child for the next family, for the next woman. This is not your baby. This is someone's father. This is not your baby. This is someone's mother.
Hey, Mahaiso in Joburg. Good evening.
Yes, I agree with what the speakers are saying. And also, what I want to say is we need to raise our kids so that they also respect themselves. If you look at the explosion of the internet and things like that, you'll see girls posting pictures of themselves saying a snack or whatever. It to me, it's like they objectifying themselves, which shows a lack of respect for yourself.
That's correct.
So we need to raise our kids in such a way that they know the limits. If something is not right in a relationship, you see a girl cheating with a man that she really knows that is married, but because she wants something out of that man, those are the things that we think we need to address with our
Fantastic.
girls, with
I
our
wrote a
boys.
booklet, it was
Well said. Well
called
said. Let me acknowledge Mkhaiso. Thank you for calling, Mkhaiso. Very strong point. Very strong point. Thank you,
The
sir.
husband mindset, I'm hearing from Vegas that a husband mindset is a whole different ball game. Well,
Okay.
you have to understand that in any relationship, the substratum of all relationships, friendship. You may be my wife, I may be your husband.
Yes, sir.
But if we're not friends, we got a problem.
That is
When
true.
people put down their mates, whenever you have chosen somebody,
Okay.
and then you turn around and talk about them negatively, then my husband is a fool, or my wife is a fool.
Right.
Well, only a fool would marry a fool.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, here's what you're going to say: they fooled me. So you make my case, because only a fool would marry a fool.
Yes, sir.
The problem that we have here is we need to understand why we're connected to an individual.
That's correct.
Because we need to understand why. And we need to stop leading with what we don't want people to leave with. If you're leading with your physicality, then you're going to end up, you got the right dress on, you got the right suit on. If you're leading with your money, then you can't argue that somebody wanted you for your money. If you're leading with your physicality, you can't argue that somebody wanted you for your body. What we have got to do is slow down the process.
I love it.
Deal
I love
with
it.
people based on the holistic approach.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something about divorce. Do you know how much money it takes? And I'm going to tell you another thing about divorce. If one of the mates died, you would have support from the community. When there's divorce, there's division. Your kids are messed up.
Yes,
Your
sir.
family's messed up. Nobody understands how to deal with who they parted or who they gave sides to.
Hey.
You got to understand this thing, man.
Yeah.
That when you divorce, you got to start all over again. Come on, man. Marriage should be 90% compatibility and 10% compromise. You can't have 90% compromise and be happy. Marriage is what marriage is. You fit. If you don't fit, you're going to have a fit.
Woo! I love it. That's Jones for you. If you don't fit, you're going to have a fit.
Yes.
Now, what if the 10% compromise is the deal breaker?
No. Then it wouldn't be compromised. Then you wouldn't be in the situation. You see, if you're 90% married, that means you fit 90%.
Okay.
That means the rest of it, you can make adjustments.
I got that. 10%, he came
You know,
in
I'm
with two-
anal. Listen, I'm anal about how my house looks. You know, my house looks like somebody that doesn't live in it.
Your house is a
I
magazine.
can't have a woman up here. I couldn't have a woman in my house with her clothes all over everywhere. I got a closet for your coat. Don't put it on my table.
Ooh, can I tell you, Bishop Maponga?
Yeah.
I fly 23 hours to see Bishop. Now, Bishop's got a house that I call a bunker.
Okay.
It's not a palace, it's a bunker. You can hide.
People can
hide in
and
there.
you all know
The
they're there.
CIA, FBI can find you in that house. It's got floors and floors after floors. But I'll arrive because it's so super clean. 23 hours, I'm even scared to take a shower in that house. I'll go straight to the hotel, then I see him after I take a shower. Because as a bachelor, the man, not only is his house in order, same as the car, same as his clothing, because you don't project a perfect public successor when you are failing in your private space. So before I even go to his private space, I check myself first that I'm in the right place. Why are we quick to bring people in our private space when we got attracted by things in the external? When we didn't do our vetting properly to be sure that I'm certain what I see in the outside surely resonates in the inside.
Maybe that's where honesty comes into place.
Hey.
Where it tips what he is saying.
Okay.
That if we accommodate and we compromise too many times.
Yes, sir.
Remember, you already have a personality.
Okay.
There are no-nos in your mind.
Yes. Yes.
You don't do that. But because the relationship is fresh, because you think she's going to change.
Okay.
And often these are unwritten ground rules.
Yes.
They are in your system. In a Shona culture, for example.
Yes.
When a woman comes or when I'm sitting down and you're giving me food, you cannot give me food without giving me a dish of water to wash my hands.
Okay.
Now, it's not kind of stuff that when you're getting married, you tell your wife that I must wash my hands first. Then I married from Lesotho, and then she brings me a piece of cloth to wipe my hands,
Okay.
a first lap. And I look at this thing and said, hey, man, we don't do like that. But again, I tell myself, I did not tell her. I subconsciously,
Assumed.
I have expectations.
Yes.
Which I do not tell the person who is next to me that this is what is expected out of you. And yet I expect you to become a prophet and know what I need and know what I require.
Hey.
And many relationships are running on prophet.
So should we disclose our terms and conditions at the inception of the relationship?
It would be very nice.
Bishop?
It would be very nice to tell you up front, me and my mother are tight. Me and this, you don't touch. Here are the booby traps. Stay away from here, stay away from here. If she can put up with that, hallelujah. But for me to lead you on, and I don't tell you that I don't want you. I almost mentioned it. Some women sock underwear in your sink as a bachelor, and this does not happen. Who socks an underwear in a sink? I want to brush my teeth and I find an underwear is soaking in a sink. Who does that?
Man.
You know, if I may interject,
Yes,
I
Bishop.
love Maponga. I love Maponga because Maponga comes out and he talks about ground rules.
Yes.
Even soccer has got rules, man. There are rules.
Right off the bat. It hit me right off the bat when he comes out and he talks about ground rules. In other words, if you get up in his space,
Yes.
you got to deal with the rules. Now, here is the problem.
Which are very important, Bishop.
Let me tell you the problem. Let me tell you the problem with women.
Yeah.
And slap me if you want to, my dear women that are listening. Most women think they can change a man.
Okay.
You can't change him. He is what he is, so choice is significant in the success of relationship. And I go to the Bible with that. If you go to the Ecclesiastes, you will find that Solomon said, and he had 1,000 women in his house, he said, I looked to all the women,
Couldn't find one.
and I couldn't find one out of 1,000. He went to men, and he only found one man out of 1,000. This is Solomon. Now, we can argue whether or not he was backslidden in Ecclesiastes and he was saved in Proverbs. We can argue that from a theological platform. But he couldn't find one woman out of 1,000. And he only found one man. Now, here's what that tells me. That 999 deserve who they got. But the one man, he needs to find somebody for himself. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is people Take time to decide who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And you need to decide whether you're going to spend your life with passion, with being hot, with sweating, with, having your tail up in the ceiling and loving all the way and the bed is breaking, or deal with somebody who you can make the rest of your life with. Your economics is fine. She can handle your money. She can handle your thoughts. You can love her. You can love her mind. You can love her spirit, love her soul, because you can get it on with anybody physically.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to my sister Katrina K. She says, Jesus is my husband. And shout out to Lady Moss. I want to give a special shout out as well to Miss T. Lee Bello _. This brings us to a wrap for this evening. I had so much fun.
I want to shout out to Dahlia in Vegas.
Yes. Beautiful.
Hello.
All the way in
And
the
just
state.
a stinger at the end.
Yes.
Prepare for marriage,
Yeah.
not for the wedding.
Beautiful. Prepare for marriage, not for the wedding.
The wedding is a day.
That is so true. Bishop, I had so much fun. I want to thank both of you. I look up to you, and I really, really thank God for bringing this gift into this conversation. I'd like to make a very important disclaimer. I saw a comment that says, where is a sister in this conversation? Well, we open our lines, 011-883-3343. This conversation is an open conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Show deals with various topics. And from the inception of this show, I've had these great minds helping us to expand and see things better. I heal and approach my situation differently at the end of every episode. So come what may, I am more than a conqueror after this show. Thank you for being with us for an hour. I want to thank everybody who called in from Bloemfontein, Cape Town, Joburg. You got to love this continent. Nigeria, we're waiting on you to call. Kenya, call us up. New York, give us a call. +27 is the country code.
Let me tell you, you boys are too hot for me. I can't keep up with Maponga. Maponga says that you got to come in with ground rules. I got you.